Caddis Maximus here, this time with a review of the Harbor Freight Pittsburgh double-ended O-ring pick set. This pick set was in a different section of Harbor Freight than where the rest of their picks are normally held at. These are item number 42159. And, you know, there's definitely some debate about O-ring picks. I shouldn't say debate, but the sharp edges, you have to be real careful not to actually poke with O-rings. There are other picks that are sold really for using with O-rings that have much more blunt ends and you're less likely to poke through them. But these are the traditional picks people use with O-rings. You just have to be careful with them. But I did want to address that subscriber comment. Also great to retrieve small items. I think it's interesting that these were in the kind of the odds and ends aisle that has, you know, some of their propane tank valves and wooden models and zip ties and that kind of thing, not along with the rest of the picks. I like these. One, they're like $3, so with a coupon, they're even cheaper. They are made, you know, they're not the highest grade steel, I'm sure. You can feel it's actually surprisingly rigid, so it doesn't feel like it's just mild steel that's chrome plated. But for $3, really, what do you expect? I kind of like the fact that they have this billet aluminum center section here, and then they have each of the O-ring picks. These things are just pressed into there, so I don't know how well they're going to hold in, but they feel like they're pretty solid. You get the four most common shapes. You get the hook, although this is kind of an interesting hook. Many will have very sharp hooks. This one's kind of a really broad hook, so I find that's kind of interesting. 90 degree. A straight pick there, if we can get this to focus, and then one of these kind of double angled picks. So pretty good selection. Nice little knurling on both the little pick portion as well as the aluminum, so I appreciate that. What I like about these is, one, they're cheap, so they're great for beaters and that kind of, and, you know, more kind of tough or jobs, I wouldn't say job site, but, you know, situations where you may have nice picks that you like to use for delicate situations, and then cheaper picks that, you know, you don't worry so much about bending or beating up. And another thing that I do like about these is because they're double-ended, well, there's two things that are distinct advantages. One is it makes these like very extended picks. I did do a pick review and comparison, and they do make long, you know, 10-inch long pick sets, but these are Harbor Freights, and they're much cheaper than, say, a set of Napas. So you get the long reach. And secondly, I kind of like the idea of actually having double-ended picks, and I like the idea that they put the hook and then the double angle on one, and then the two more simple shapes, just a straight and then the 90 degree on the other, so that way you can pick at the hook, and if the hook doesn't work, you can just flip it around, use this to maybe get it started and then flip it back. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Anyway, not a whole lot to talk about these, but I did see them on the shelf in another part of the store, and I guess I just glazed over and never noticed them. But they, you know, as far as outward appearances, chrome plated with little billet aluminum center sections, they are kind of nice looking picks. And surprisingly enough, we'll get a little close look at the knurling on aluminum. The knurling on aluminum actually came out surprisingly well and does have a good amount of grip. Not quite as well on the shanks of the steel picks themselves, but still pretty decent. And surprisingly enough, it offers quite a bit of grip. You know, these are kind of inordinately nice for the picks at Harbor Freight. And I think that they could get away with a whole single-ended pick set that had all these red aluminum handles. I think that would be pretty neat. Anyway, I want to do a little review of these and let you all know what I thought of them. I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Caddis Maximus out.